Hello, everyone, and welcome to Karben on Air, the podcast voted by people that live in this apartment as being the number one podcast to help you on your personal journey of success. I'm your host, Chad Addy again, and I truly hope that you guys are finding this podcast to be helpful in your lives and helping you to get one step closer towards achieving your goals and dreams. Now, in today's episode, I want to talk about time. What is time, you said? Well, I guess that really just depends who you ask. Dictionary.com says it's the indefinite continued progress of existence and events in the past, present, and future regarded as a whole. Or, if you want to go with maybe the more accurate resource, UrbanDictionary.com says, time is what we waste spending time on here looking up random things like Britney Spears and the definition of homosexuality. But no matter what your definition of time is, you need to stop using the lack of time as your excuse for why you can't pursue your dreams. Kidding me? I don't got time for that. Chad, what are you talking about? I don't have time in my life. Look, you have time. And for all of you out there that are saying you don't have time, I have some pretty staggering statistic that I want to go over with you. The average person spends about 26 minutes on their commute every day. That's one way to work. So round trip, we're talking 52, 53 minutes. Instead of listening to the newest Britney Spears album, what if you spent that time instead on listening to a podcast, listening to an audiobook on something in your industry, trying to learn from people that are having success in your industry, and you can learn from them and use that in your own life. The average American watches just over 5 hours of TV a day. 4.5 of that time is spent watching live TV, aka TV that's not recorded, it's happening live, instead of watching it at a later time, as I discussed in a previous episode. Just over 5 hours. Just think about that for a minute. What if you even cut that in half and had 2.5 hours a day to dedicate towards starting that next company, towards writing your book, towards trying out for that team, towards trying to get that promotion at work? 5 hours a day. Do you really need to watch 5 hours of TV a day? That's up to you. That's your call. But if you are someone that wants to achieve your dreams, you need to prioritize differently. Maybe spend half of that time on something other than TV. The average person spends 2 hours a day on average on social media. Honestly, I think that's pretty conservative. I think it's actually quite a bit higher than that for most people. So you're telling me that you have 2 hours to spend on social media watching cat videos and constructing posts documenting how much you hate your life and how you wish things were different. How about rather than posting that kind of thing, how about you actually spend that time on actually doing something about it, on actually becoming a more positive person and taking steps towards building your next company, towards writing your book, towards getting a promotion at work, towards going out for that team that you've always wanted to go out for. Do you like to sleep? The average adult sleeps about 8 hours a night. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Sleep's fun. But what if you cut that back a half an hour, and still got that 7.5 hours of sleep, and instead you dedicate that extra time there towards one of the things that we just mentioned? Again, there's nothing wrong with sleep, but if you want to be successful and pursue your dreams, sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice sleep. There's one thing I do want to say. If you're currently unhappy with your situation and you find yourself constantly telling yourself that you don't have time to do what you love, then you're spending your time on the wrong things. Now let me say that again. You are spending your time on the wrong things. Look, I know some of you are working 2 jobs to make ends meet. You have kids you need to take care of. I understand those are important things, and I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm not telling you to get rid of your kids. Jesus, I'm not that big of a dick. What I am telling you is that you have time in your day. Every one of you has time in your day that you're misusing, or you can use it a different way to work toward your dream instead of spending that time doing useless things. There's so many podcasts out there. There's so many audiobooks out there that you can use. Hook it up to your stereo. Listen to that on your way to work. If you're looking to get a raise at work, why not get a podcast on learning management skills? Look, we all have time in our days. I can't sit here and go through each one of your lives and figure out where you have areas that you could dedicate to this, but we all have time in our days somewhere. So what I challenge you to do is sit down as soon as possible and just document in detail your average week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even on your weekends, Saturday and Sunday, what you do on an average week. And be honest with yourself. How much time are you actually spending watching TV, sitting on social media, scrolling through, looking at memes, checking out the newest video that's out? Be honest with yourself. Document all those things and assign a time to each one of those tasks. And then go back and look at that list and see which tasks you can remove from your week and still be okay. Then do some basic math. As I told you, I'm not good at math, so don't ask me to help you with this. Sit down and figure out how much time you have left from that. Hopefully it's greater than 30 seconds in a week. And then you're going to figure out how much time you have and figure out a plan for how you can use that time in better ways to get steps closer to your dreams, to your goals, to starting your next business, to writing that next book, to getting a promotion at work, to going out for the football team. Whatever it is, you have time in your week, guys. Don't tell me you don't. You just need to be honest with yourself and figure out all the areas in your day that you could shuffle a bit to make them more beneficial for you. Now, in case you haven't figured it out already, nothing that we're going to be going over in this series is rocket science. You're telling us what time is, Chad. Great, thanks. But honestly, most people aren't thinking about these things in the way that they should. You have time in your day. Every one of you does. Whether it be during your commute, or instead of going on Facebook for 17 hours, or instead of watching your favorite 17 TV shows every single night. You have time in your day, and you just need to figure out how you can allocate that extra time that you have into something positive that can change your life for the better. Thank you everyone again for watching this episode of Karben on Air. I truly appreciate each and every one of you guys. Hopefully you'll tune in again next week, Wednesday, for episode number 5. But until then, each of you have an awesome week and keep doing what you love. Peace.